Hello everyone, welcome back to my video Introduction to Web Design. So this week we're gonna continue with our lesson JavaScript. So in order to go to the topic that I'm gonna talk about variable, object and event, I'm gonna introduce you about JavaScript. JavaScript is a programming language that mostly run by the web browser, but it can also be a programming language that they use on the server side like Node.js. But if you don't understand about those server side, we just focus on JavaScript. Is a programming language run on the web browser. So if for those of you guys don't have the programming language background, you will start with the variable and object and event that I gonna come up in this video. So now let's go with me. For the first one is variable. What is variable? Variable is used to store a value. So as you can see is the variable name and equal to value. This is the syntax of the declaring variable. For example, I want variable name is to store some values like number. The value, it depends on the object that we're gonna assign to the variable. Like we can have the number value, we can have string, and we can have the float number, or we can have many types of data like um, integer or something. Yes, so this is the syntax. So I will have a code demo later, so you just get to remember, get started with the variable syntax like here. So the second thing is about object. In HTML, all elements are object, HTML object. So to modify object, we use method to select on object and change its value. What does it mean? It means that we use the JavaScript to select on the HTML object to modify the value property of the CSS. So I can give an example to you, like you want the text color change its color to red. Now it is black, but you want it to change to red, and you don't use CSS to modify it to red, but you use JavaScript to select on that object, and then you change its property CSS color text to red. So the text color, the object HTML object will change its property on the CSS style, and then that object gonna become red. In order to select on the object, to get that object, we use document.getElementById. So as here I explain here, like value is the object of the variable name. So you take the element get element by id. It means that this is the object. You will assign this object inside the variable name, and then we use that variable name to change its property, to use some more method to change its property. And also we can use get element by class name, even when the object's element in the HTML use specified by class name. Go next to event. What is event? Event is an action that caused by another action. For example, when we click on the button, then change the text color. To create event, we use add event listener on the object. So now I have a button. When I have a button, I use document.getElementById. It means that the ID of the button. So it means that I select on the button, and then I add event listener to the button. It means that the button will listen to the click. I mean add event listener, and then I give the argument it click. It means that the button will listen to the click action when I click on the button, and then we will do some more activities, some more action to cause the text color change or something. So when we click on the button, document.getElementById, we use the text color ID, and then we change the color of the text. This is we call event. So I will have a code demo and we will see the real example on the some sample website. Get into the practice. So now we come with the last project that we did here is the the HTML and CSS. So I will open it in the Visual Studio Code. Just wait a little bit. I think it's not gonna happen. Okay. Oh. It take a little bit slow. So excuse me. Okay. Yes. Like I mentioned in the slide, I say, but I didn't mention. No, I didn't mention about this. About how to use the JavaScript inside the HTML file. So in order to use the JavaScript file, you don't need to you need to open the tag like style, like the CSS. You need to open that is the CSS code, but the style code is inside the head. But this time the JavaScript code will not in the head, it will be inside the body, and I suggest you to open the script tag inside the body in the bottom. So now I say script, it will say script like this. Yeah, this is the script, and then you can write the JavaScript code inside the script tag. And variable, so I will have a variable. In order to say variable, I say var. I say object tag. I say object tag. Sorry, let me see this scripts. So equal to 1. It means that object tag is equal to 1, and the type of the object tag is the number. But now we don't want to use the number. We want to select on now example I want to select on this New York City. I want to select on that New York City, and I will check what that New York City ID is. New York City here, it doesn't have ID, so I give its ID New York. Okay, New York, and then I use document dot get element by ID, and then you give that ID. So what ID is this? That ID I give at the moment New York. So now, and I use a semicolon to specify the end of the statement. So now our object tag is this object, and then we want to change its color. So now I say object tag dot high or dot color or dot css, and then I want to change its color to blue. Save it, and then you gotta refresh it. Object dot by ID. Now let me check the you can check this dev tool and code CSS. It means that I use the wrong here. We don't use that way. Color we use like this. No. So how to use it? Object tag dot style, I think. Oh, dot style dot color equal to blue. You change it to blue. Here you see, it means that you use that object and then you specify the style, the color, and then blue, and then that tag will become with the color blue. This is how we select on the object. And then one more term is event. So I will have a button. I will have a button under this New York City. I will have a button here. I say button. I say click on me, and then I give it ID btn. It means the button. Okay. Here I have a button, but now this button, when we click, it doesn't do anything. It called interactivity. Yes. So in order to click on it, you have to have a variable btn equal to document dot get element by id. What do you want to select on? Select on the button. So that button is btn. And then we use btn dot add event listener. We want to add the click action to it, and then we want to do something. What we want to do is function, and then we can write the statement of what action that we want to do inside the function tag here, the function body. So now when the btn click here, when the btn click, nothing, because this function they do nothing. When I refresh, I click, do nothing. But when I say alert, hello, alert means that it will print the word hello. So I will refresh it, and then when I click, it will alert. You see, when I click, it will alert hello. That's we call action. So now if I want to click on it, I want to change this color. So now I will cut this, and then I paste it here. I will refresh it again, it will become red again. Yeah, because the code didn't set that to blue, but only set it to blue when the button is clicked. So now I will click on it and it will change to blue. You see? Refresh it, and then when you click, it will become to blue. This is how JavaScript works. And for the JavaScript, this is just the foundation and basic. W3 school, W3, just say W3, and then it will rank the first one. You can come to this website again, and you have JavaScript here. You can learn a lot from this, and you can learn better. You have the tool, like said here, click on me to display date. When you click on it, it will display date. See, like when I click on the button here, it changed the color. It works the same way, but the difference is in the body here. In the body, do differently. This body is to set blue, but this body of the click button will be display this one. Yeah, that is the JavaScript. So thank you for your watching, and thank you for spending time with my course. That's all. Thank you.